Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing well. So with that spirit, we are going to discuss what this today's video is going to about. Like the new video, the new chapter, that is journal. This is the new chapter of the subject accounts, that is journal. In this chapter, we are going to learn what is journal, why this is an important document that every businessman has to keep, how it is framed, how is the specimen, what it is, its utilities, why it is important. All these things we are going to discuss in this today's video. Okay, and also we are going to discuss one example on it, a very simple one, so that you can understand how the journal is being maintained, and one a little bit harder than the simple one. So we will, in this harder one, we will see how the advanced transactions are also maintained in this journal. Firstly, we will begin with this simple one example, then I will take another example that will be a little bit harder, but it will be very convenient for you to understand that how the journal is being maintained and why it is being maintained. So without any further delay, we will start with the video. So in this today's modern business world, a businessman carries out so many business transactions with different parties, and so many books of accounts are kept. Now, how many books of accounts are kept by a businessman, that depends on the size of the business, the volume of the business. Like how many transactions are carried out on daily basis with different parties. So for carrying out all these transactions, a book is maintained. Now, what type of books are maintained, that is very important. Now, we don't know, like for a small business, 2 or 3 books must be kept, and for a larger size, 5 or 6 business books must be kept. So there is a difference, but one common thing is there in both sides of business, that is one common book of account is being maintained by both volume of businesses, that is a small business and a larger size business. Both businesses keep one common book. Now what is that common book? That is journal. This is the most important books of account that must be kept by every businessman. No matter what other books are being maintained or not, that really doesn't matter, but journal is a must thing that every businessman should keep in his business to record all the business transactions. Now why this journal must be kept? Because this is the very right document to record all the transactions in a chronological manner. That is, all the transactions in journal are being maintained date wise, like on what date and at what place these transactions are being recorded. Journal gives that all details about the transactions every business is being carrying out with other parties or with the other company. So I will tell you what generally a businessman keeps books, like what all books of accounts are being kept by a businessman. All these are general books of accounts. Now general books of accounts, now it is divided into 2 parts. First is primary books and other is secondary books. Now primary books, again it is divided into 2 parts, that is journal proper and the other is special journal. Now in special journal, again more dividation is being done, more documents are being kept, that is purchase book, sales book, cash book, then purchase written book, sales book, bills receivable, bills payable. All these books have been kept in special journal book. This is the core books that are being kept by a businessman. Now let's take the secondary books. In the secondary books, ledger is being maintained. Now we will study about the ledger in the next chapter, but I will tell you what is, in short I will tell you what is ledger. Ledger is formed with the help of journal. So journal helps to keep the records in ledger. All these 2 documents are interrelated. So in detail we will study about ledger in the next chapter. So I will give you one tip another book of account is kept, that is waste book. This is a memory book of account that is kept by a businessman for keeping a rough record of all the transactions, so that any important transactions should not be omitted by him. Since all daily transactions have been carried out, so in that any important transactions must get misplaced, or the businessman forgets to record it. So this waste book is a document or is a book that is being kept by a businessman for the rough noting down of all the transactions. Now you must have got a question like why this journal is being maintained by all businessmen, why it is important to keep this book. So I will tell you the points, the importance of journal, why this is important. The first importance of keeping journal is it gives you complete record of all the transactions, that is through the debit and credit, like what is being entered into the business, what is being sold outside of the business. This is found in journal. So this is the first importance of journal. Second importance of journal is, since all the transactions are made date wise in journal, we can take references through this journal, so that for checking of any transactions we need not to go through all the book for in search of one transaction. Just by entering the date of transaction, on what date this transaction is recorded in journal, everything is sorted. You can take references from the journal. This is the second importance. Third importance is journal gives you brief explanation, like it is called as narration. Now what is narration? It gives you explanation of the transaction, like what type of transaction is being carried out. If any purchases is being made, under that purchases, in bracket, a small explanation or a brief explanation depends on the transaction is being written. Like if the purchases is being made, then we will write in the bracket purchases being made against purchase of machinery, furniture, whatever the purchases may be related to. This is called as narration. So this also helps in journal. That is the importance of journal. It will help you to give that idea of the transaction, like what type of transaction it is. Fourth is it will give you arithmetical accuracy, that is, or you should see all the debits and credits are being equal. So from here you will get that okay, all the transactions are recorded accurately. So this is the another importance of journal. While posting journal entries, everything must be recorded properly, because all these journal entries are being going to facilitate it to the ledger. Ledger needs all the accurate transactions. So journal is a base for ledger to get all the accurate transactions. So journal is also important in that aspect of facilitating accurate transactions in ledger. Another important feature of journal is it helps you keep the final, like it will give you the final position of the business, like if the business is under the loss or under profit. So journal helps in creating final accounts. Now final accounts is another chapter. We will discuss about it in the it is very far chapter, but it journal helps in final accounts too. So these all are important things that is related to journal. So let's discuss about the specimen of a journal. Above the let's draw first a box. Above it write journal entries of, like who is maintaining, if any person is maintaining, or any institution, any company, the name of that particular party is appearing above the box, like journal of Shah Traders, anybody. I have given an example. Then in the box on the left hand side, date, in between particulars, ledger folio, debit and credit. All these points are written down in the specimen. Now in the date column, you have to write down the date of the transaction, like on what date the transaction is being carried out. That particular date will appear in date column. In particulars column, you have to write two accounts that is being effected in the transaction. Like we have already studied about it, two accounts like purchases account, cash account, sales account. Whatever the transaction is related, according to that you have to write down the transactions. Under the two accounts, you have to write down the narration, that is the explanation of the transaction, like what type of transaction is carried out. Okay, if purchases be carried out, you have to write down being purchases made against what you have purchased. Ledger folio, in that you have to write down the number of the transactions you have write down. Like if on the page, it is like a page number. If it is a book, on first page, second page, third page, on this pages, on which date, on which page number you have written down the transaction, that page number you have to write down in the ledger folio. But another term for page number is ledger folio in accounts language. In debit side, you have to write down the amount of the transaction, like if purchases is being made, then the amount of the purchases, like 50,000 in debit column, that amount you have to write. Similarly, you have to write the same amount in the credit side too, 50,000, because this is the book of account that we are maintaining, not the other party with whom you are carrying out the transactions. It is for for our authenticity, that okay, all these transactions are maintained with the business and they are carried out on that particular day. So that is why you need not to consider the other party. So credit side also we have to write down the same amount. So this is how a specimen of a journal looks alike, and this is how it works. So that is it with our today's discussion. I hope you understood about this new chapter that we have started, that new journal, why this journal is being maintained, how businessmen should record transactions, what is the specimen of a journal, which type of businessman can keep this book of account, why it is important. All these points I hope you understood. In the next video, we are going to discuss about some transactions, some common transactions that are being recorded in a journal. So stay tuned for that video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, share with your friends, with your new classmates. Subscribe to my channel if you're new to my channel. Click on that bell icon to get all the new notifications of my all new videos, and comment down your suggestions, your queries related to this video, and if any of the previous videos, I will definitely try to solve it. And till then, goodbye.